Welcome back, everyone. His mission is to help people become the best version of themselves, and he's giving you the guide on how to do it in his brand new book called You Are Capable of More. Joining us now is author Chris Sund. Chris, good morning.
Morning.
What was the inspiration behind this book, Chris?
Well, I've come across a lot of people that have a lot of potential, but maybe they don't see it in themselves. I'll give an example. I had a girl that was working for me, and she's telling me a story. She'd never been to her favorite college football team to play on Saturday, and I asked why, and she said, well, I work a second job to make extra money, and I've been doing that my whole life. I said, well, why don't you go for our sales role that just opened up? And she was in our credentialing department, and she's like, no, I wouldn't be good at it. I said, I would argue that. I have seen you work for years, and you're extremely talented. I think you'd be really great at that. And she just kept, going, I don't think so. I don't know if it would work. And, luckily I didn't take no for an answer and ensured her, you're going to get support. We're going to help you. If worst case you don't like it or it doesn't work, then we can look at putting you back where you're at today. Not only did she take the role, but she ended up being one of our top employees. She received awards for it. But there's a lot of people like that inside of them, they have it. They just don't recognize it.
We really want to bring that out in everybody. Step up if you can. What was the thorough survey you did with working adults? Tell me about that and what you found out.
So I did some research for the book, and I surveyed over 200 people. Half of those were in leadership positions and half were individual contributors, and we wanted to be able to compare those results a little bit. Regardless of where they worked or their role, over 92% of the people filling out the survey said they were capable of more than what they were doing in their current life.
Wow, 92%? That's almost everybody.
Yes.
Wow. And so what was your takeaway from that?
One of the things I took the most was the follow-up was a lot of questions on what is holding you back or what would more look like. And so out of that, we found out some of the biggest barriers. The number one was self-doubt, coupled with fear of failure. The other ones were they're too busy, schedules, not being able to find the time to work on becoming more. And then the last one was just being comfortable with where they're at, not wanting to get out of that comfort zone.
That is a really tricky one because you can do your job, but if you step up, there's that fear of failure, the fear of going wrong. So I can see that would be tough. What are some action steps someone can do who's maybe facing some of these barriers? How can they overcome them?
Great question. There's a lot of different steps I think you take. I'll look at self-doubt. That's one of the biggest ones. And everybody has this inner voice inside of them that, maybe telling them this might not work or what if you try that? And I like to think of it as a golf ball sitting in a red Solo cup. And sometimes you just can't get past that voice. What you should do is surround yourself with people or open your perspective a little bit more. And what happens is the inner voice is still there, but the red Solo cup almost turns into a bucket. And so the more you start talking to other people and realizing, like, hey, I can do this. I can get past this voice. One of the things I recommend, let's say someone wanted to work out for the first time. Start by just driving to the parking lot of the gym. And then if you still aren't ready, then try next time, can you get to the door? Can you go inside, right? And when you start telling other people this is something I want to do, and then getting an accountability partner, and then finding a way to actually take action.
Yeah, baby steps along the way. I've also found that the more positivity I put out, the more positivity I hear reverberated back in my own head.
Oh, absolutely. That goes very far.
Yeah. Tell me, did you hear from these leaders that you surveyed that they had self-doubt? This would make me feel better.
Absolutely. In fact, the leaders surveyed, you go, are they their own harder critics? But the leaders said they were significantly capable, more higher than the regular individual contributors. So their scores were even higher in areas of thinking they could do more, but also higher in areas of barriers as well.
Okay.
And so it's hard to know, are they just being tough critics? Or are they going, no, I'm just not living up to where I can be? Interesting.
Okay. What do you hope people will gain from reading your book?
The biggest thing is, I share a lot of personal stories and things I've learned along the way. But what I want is 92% of people go, I do want to get better, but how do I get there? And so the idea is just some nice advice that they can read that hopefully inspires them to take those little baby steps.
And this can be in all areas of your life, right? Not just for working out or just for, your job, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. This is across all aspects. It's not just important to be great at work or inside those four walls. It's important what you do outside. So two of those is a lot about what you're spending your time on. And that doesn't just mean making yourself better. That could be just spending it with the people that matter the most. And what are you doing to serve others?
That's a really good point. And that's a place where I think a lot of people do feel internally that they could step up and that they're just not doing it at this time. Busy schedules, I know, it can be really difficult, but these are some really good reminders that we might find in this book. You've got free resources for people to check out on your website. What will they find there?
So I didn't want to make it so people had to necessarily buy the book. What if maybe the barrier is they can't afford the book?
Fair.
And I just wanted to make sure we help people. So it starts off, I recommend people take a couple minutes and take the assessment. And the assessment's going to kind of figure out what is holding you back and what would more look like. And then based on how you fill out that assessment, it's going to recommend either articles and a bunch of free resources we have that can help them. So you can get on there and start getting help today.
Sounds good to me. Chris, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much and congratulations on your book.
Oh, thank you, Rosie.
All right. For more information and to get your very own copy of the book or to just learn more about those free resources, go to youarecapableofmore.com.